and welcome. I'm Stephanie Lillian, the Medical Mystic, and I'm so excited to have you here today for this hip opening beginner level yoga class. So to get started, make sure you have a nice mat or blanket that you can work out on, that you're somewhere where you won't be bothered for the next hour, and that you're in some comfortable clothes that you can move around in. To get started, we're going to lie down on our mats. So let's meet there. So find a nice comfortable resting position lying down on your mat. If you want to sit up, no problem. Find a nice comfortable seat on your mat. And just begin to close the eyes and letting the mind just come to a state of ease. Allowing your awareness to come to this present moment. Begin to tune your awareness into your breath. So just allowing the sound of your breath to come to the forefront of your mind. Just gently letting go of any thoughts or anything that's on your mind right now. If anything's distracting you from your breath, notice what's coming up for you, what's on your mind, acknowledging what it is. But then let it go. Tell it you'll get back to it after class. Right now, this time is for you. So gently begin to direct your awareness back to your breath. Big, big breaths. Slowing down every inhale and every exhale. Just begin to bring into your awareness the question, what if everything I did was easy? What if everything I did was easy? Just notice what comes up for you. Does your mind instantly go to a place where you think things need to be hard and a struggle to get done? You think of things that maybe you'd get rid of in order for your life to be easy. Or maybe aspects that make your life feel easy. What if everything you did in life was easy? And we'll be keeping this theme through class today. So noticing for your postures, what if every posture that you performed today felt easy? A lot of the times we try to push ourselves to achieve a posture to look a certain way. But instead, if it would just feel good and feel easy for us, we can benefit our body and be here and now with it. So maybe setting an intention for class today. Create a sense of ease in every pose. for today's practice to feel easy. Just begin by creating a sense of ease within, sending a wave of relaxation from the top of the head down across the body. That just relaxes every muscle within, melting yourself down. Couple more big breaths here. And on your next inhale, gently begin to bend the knees out toward the outside and bring the insides of the feet to touch. So you're essentially creating butterfly legs as you're still lying down here on your mat. So insides of the feet touching, knees splay open, hips are open. And if it feels good for you, you can rest your hands on the insides of your thighs. It'll add a little bit of extra weight to maybe help open the hips a bit more, but if not, you can just rest your hands by your sides. I'm going to rest my hands on my inner thighs. Just begin to breathe here. Notice if you can create a sense of ease within. Sometimes we tend to resist the drop of the knees as we have our knees open in a position like this, so see if you can try to relax the inside hip flexors and just melt the legs down. Relax the belly and the lower back. Soften the shoulders and your face. Couple more breaths and just breathe into the hips. Big breaths. Imagine the breath going to the hip flexors. One more big breath here. And on your exhale, straighten your legs back down to the mat. On your inhale, stretch your hands toward the back of your room. Big stretch, feet stretch towards the front like you're waking up in the morning. And then exhale, hug the knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around the shins and just add a gentle rock. Maybe the head falls side to side as well. Ears drop towards the mat. Hugging the knees in, but not using the strength of your arm, just resting your hands on the shins. Notice how the body feels. How does the low back feel? The shoulders, the hips. Couple more rocks. Just feel into your body nice and slow. And your choice from here, you can either fall over onto one side and press yourself up to seated, or just gently begin to rock and then meet up to seated. Whatever feels better for you. Once you get to the front of the mat, straighten out your legs in front of you. Find a nice seat. And on your next inhale, you're going to bring the right foot in towards you. The outside edge of the foot is going to be in alignment with the inside edge of your thigh. So finding a placement that feels good for the knee, feels good for the leg. Begin to press the left leg down towards your mat and pull the toes back towards you so your legs should feel super active. On your next inhale, hands will reach up overhead, palms touch. And then exhale, begin to look towards your left foot and dive down towards your foot. Inhale and pull your heart forward, shoulders go down the back. And if you can keep this position, lower down, further down towards your leg. So notice, if you begin to round your back, the shoulders and come up by the ears, you want to come back a bit and allow the heart to shine towards the front of your room. When you can keep this position, that's when you can lower down to your legs. Let's take 3 more big breaths here. Keep pressing that leg down to the mat and also pressing the right knee down as well, staying active through the legs. 1 more big breath here. And on the inhale, coming back up to seated. Exhale, shoulder blades down the back and straighten out that right leg. Same thing other side. Inhale, left leg comes in. Outside of the foot is in alignment with the inside edge of the thigh. Exhale here and then inhale, hands come up overhead, palms touch. Look towards your right foot and then exhale, lower down towards your leg. Inhale, rise up, pull the heart forward, shoulder blades come down the back, and if you can keep this position, lower down further towards your legs. Hands should stay on the outside of the leg and foot because this is just a nice, easy stretch in the beginning of class. We're not trying to push ourselves too far. Keep pressing down the knee of that right leg, pressing down the knee of the left leg. Toes should be pulling back towards you on that right leg. 3 more big breaths here. Keep the low belly sucked in. 2 more breaths. You're doing great. 1 more big breath. And then on your next inhale, rise back up to seated. Exhale, shoulder blades down the back and straighten out that left leg. Both legs are straight. Let's make sure they're active. So press the knees down, press the thighs down, toes pull back towards you. Inhale, hands lift up overhead. And exhale, again, begin to dive down towards your legs. So again, gentle stretch. Hands are on the outsides. Inhale, pull up the heart. If you can keep the heart looking forward, like if your chest had eyes and they were able to look forward and see forward, and you can lower down like that. Lower down. It's a lot of words, but that's the concept. If you can't keep your heart looking forward, stay where you are. You'll get there over time. We don't want to create an injury within the back. 3 more breaths here. 2 more big breaths. Keep pressing those knees down, shoulders pull down away from the ears. 1 more breath. And then inhale, come back up to seated. And exhale, shoulder blades down the back. Inhale, swing the legs behind you and make your way to a tabletop position. So hands and knees. Make sure if you look back that the knees are hips distance, directly under the hip points, and that your wrists are directly under the shoulders. Press down into the ground like you want to press it away from you. Press the knees down. You should feel a lift between the low back and also in the shoulder blades, so belly sucks it in. On your next inhale, pull the belly down and send your gaze up towards the ceiling. We're going through cat-cow. Exhale, round the spine, look towards your thighs or belly button, press into the hands. Inhale, belly drops down, heart pulls through. Exhale, round the spine, look towards the belly button. Inhale, drop the belly, heart looks up. Exhale, round the spine, trying to lift up between the shoulder blades. Let's do 2 more rounds. Inhale, heart drops down, belly presses down, heart pulls through, belly presses down. Exhale, round the spine, press through hands and knees. Last time, inhale, looking up, pulling the heart through. And exhale, rounding, pressing through hands and knees. Inhale back to center. Exhale once you're here. On your next inhale, pull the head towards the front of the room, trying to lengthen your back. Then exhale, big toes touch, sink the hips back down towards the heels. Inhale, pull the heart forward, try to lift up the chest, and then exhale, lower down into child's pose. Breathing here, relax, pulling the shoulder blades down away from the ears. Head drops down onto the mat. Big, big breaths. Take about 2 more breaths here, just coming back to the breath. On your next inhale, rise back up to hands and knees. And then on the exhale, curl your toes under, lift the knees up, and press the thigh bones back to a downward facing dog. Breathing here. Once you're in your downward facing dog, just feel into this. This is our first down dog of class, so maybe pedal the heels, dropping one heel at a time, shifting the weight side to side, or just going forward and back and just feeling into this. Taking about 3 more big breaths here, pressing your weight forward and back, side to side. 1 more breath. And then on your next inhale, begin to walk the feet up towards the hands, tippy-toeing forward. Rise up halfway once you're there, pulling the heart forward. And then exhale, fold down towards your feet. On the next inhale, bend the knees and slowly roll up, stacking 1 vertebra at a time. Your head and shoulders should be the last to rise. Whenever you get to the top, exhale the shoulder blades down your back. On your next inhale, sweep the hands out and around, palms come to touch at the top. Exhale and dive down towards your feet, flat back. Inhale, rise up halfway, pull the heart forward. And then exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back behind you, and then lower your knees down, your chest, and then your chin. On the inhale, pull through and rise up to a low cobra, elbows pulling by the sides. And then exhale, press to your tabletop, and then sink the hips back towards your heels. Child's pose, 5 breaths here. Breathing deeply, allowing the head to just drop down towards the mat. Maybe you sway the hips side to side to really just sink into this and feel into this posture. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Keep pulling the shoulders down away from the ears. 1 more big breath. Then on your next inhale, press up to tabletop. On the exhale, curl the toes under, lift the hips, press up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale and step or walk the feet up to between the hands. Rise up halfway once you get to the top of your mat, and then exhale, fold down. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing, sweeping the hands out and around, and then the palms come to touch at the top. Exhale, hands come to heart center, and then down by your sides. Again, inhale, sweep the hands out and around, palms touch, and the exhale, dive down to your mat, flat back. Inhale, rise up halfway, pull the heart forward, and on the exhale, only step your left foot back as you plant the hands down. Drop the back knee. Inhale, hands sweep up overhead, palms touch, and then exhale, the hands come right back down, framing your front foot. Step the front knee back behind you, lower the chest down, and then the chin. Inhale and pull through, lifting the heart to a low cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. So coming through tabletop, pressing yourself up and back, downward facing dog. If you prefer child's pose, by all means go to child's pose. Breathing here, pressing through the palms, driving the heels down, pressing the knees and thighs toward the wall behind you. Shoulder blades track down the back and the low belly sucks in. Rib cage pulls up as well. 2 more big breaths here. Keep driving those heels down. 1 more breath. And then inhale, either walk or step the feet up between the hands. Rise up halfway once you're there. Exhale and fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing, sweeping the hands up and overhead, palms touch, and then exhale, hands to heart center, then down by your side. Same thing, other side. So inhale, sweep the hands up, palms touch. Exhale, dive down to your mat with a flat back. Inhale, rise up halfway, pull the heart forward. Exhale, plant the hands, step the right foot back this time. Right knee lowers down, and then inhale, palms come up, they touch overhead. Exhale, hands come down to frame the front foot. Front knee gets pulled back behind you, and then lower the chest and then the chin to your mat. Inhale and pull through, rising up to low cobra. And exhale, pressing up and back to your downward facing dog. Breathing here for 5 deep breaths. Pressing through the palms, lifting the forearms up and away from the ground. Driving the heels down, pressing the knees and thighs back. Breathing here. Sending your breath to the belly button. 2 more big breaths. 1 more breath. And inhale, step or walk the feet up between the hands, rising up halfway once you get to the top of your mat. Exhale to fold. And then inhale, rise all the way up to standing, sweeping the hands up and overhead, palms touch. Exhale, hands come down by your sides. Again, sweep your hands out and around, palms touch overhead. Exhale, dive down towards your mat. Inhale, rise up halfway, pull the heart forward, and then exhale, step only the left foot back behind you. Lower the knee down. Inhale, hands come up overhead, palms touch. And then exhale, clasp the hands behind you. So palms touch, fingers interlace. Inhale, pull the hands back, open up the heart towards the ceiling. 5 deep breaths here. So this is a bit of a back bend. You're opening the heart, pulling the chest up towards the ceiling. Keep pressing that left hip forward, right hip pulls back. 3 more breaths, low belly sucks in. 2 more breaths. Last one. On your next inhale, palms come up overhead again. And then exhale, hands come down to frame the front foot. Right knee steps back behind you, and then lower the heart down, bend the chin. Inhale, pull through low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Come back to your breath. If you've lost focus on your breath, this is the spot to come back to it. 3 more breaths, big, big breaths. 2 more. Last one. On the next inhale, step only the left foot up between your hands. If you need to help it, feel free to do so, just using your hand, helping you get up. Exhale, back knee drops behind you. Inhale, hands sweep up overhead, palms touch, and then exhale, hands come behind you, clasping behind. Inhale, heart pulls up, press the hands into each other, and open up towards the ceiling. 5 breaths here, keeping the legs active. Left hip draws back, right hip presses forward. 3 more breaths. Keep lifting the heart up, low belly sucks in. 2 more. Last one. Inhale, hands come up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, hands come down to your mat. Inhale, you're going to step the back foot up to the front of your mat. Rise up halfway. And then exhale, fold down. Inhale, hands sweep up overhead and palms touch when you get to the top. Exhale, hands come to heart center. On your next inhale, we're coming to chair pose. So hands sweep up overhead, sink the seat back and bend the knees. Low belly sucks in. On your exhale, dive down to your mat. Keep the knees bent. When the hands come down, then straighten the legs. Inhale, rise up halfway, pull the heart forward, and exhale, step your feet back behind you. Your choice now, you can either lower down with the knees first or go down in a full plank to a hover. Inhale, rise up to upward facing dog or low cobra, and exhale, press up and back, downward facing dog. 1 big breath in your downward facing dog. And then on your next inhale, lift the right foot up back behind you and then bend the knee, lifting the knee up towards the ceiling. 5 breaths here. Keep lifting the knee. This should feel like a nice hip stretch. Drop the right armpit towards the ground. You don't want to feel like you're craning open. Keep the front body neutral. 2 more breaths. Keep pressing through that left foot. 1 more breath. And then on your next exhale, drop the foot down towards the ground. Inhale and shift your weight forward to a plank. Exhale, either knees, chest, chin, or full plank, lowering to a hover. Inhale, rising up to upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, so big breath here. And then on your next inhale, lift the left foot up behind you. Begin to bend the knee and open the knee up toward the ceiling. 5 breaths here. Big, big breaths. Keep lifting the knee up, dropping that left armpit down to the ground and pressing that right knee back. 2 more big breaths. 1 more breath. And then on the next exhale, drop the knee down, foot comes down. Inhale, shift the weight forward, coming towards plank, and exhale, lowering down. Inhale, rise up to up dog or low cobra, and exhale, downward facing dog. Big breath here, heart rate should be coming up. And then on your next inhale, either walking or stepping up to the front of your mat, rising up halfway once you're there. Exhale to fold down towards your feet. And then inhale, hands come up, sweeping up to chair pose, palms touch. Exhale, hands come to heart center, and then down by your sides. On your next inhale, hands sweep up overhead again, palms come to touch. Exhale, dive down to your mat, flat back. Inhale, rise up halfway, pull the heart forward. Exhale, plant your hands, step the right foot back, and then the left foot back. On your next exhale, lowering down fully. Inhale, rising up, low cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, pressing up and back to your downward facing dog. 1 big breath here, and on that exhale, shift the knees down towards the ground, coming into tabletop position, hands and knees. On your next inhale, bring the hands back towards you if they're too far in front. Keep the knees, hips distance. Press the ground away, hands and knees. Exhale fully. On your next inhale, we're going to begin to do circles with the knees around the hips. So inhale, keeping a bend in the right knee, lift the right knee out and away from you, bringing it up to a high point, and on the exhale, the knee's going to come down towards the center line and sweep back across. So again, inhale, knee lifts up towards the side, comes out and around. When you drop down, exhale, lowering down and across. 1 more time this way. Inhale, knee lifts out to the side, drawing it back, and then exhale, dropping it down. Pause here. Other way. So inhale, knee comes to the midline, lifts up right behind you, and then sweeps around on the exhale. It drops back in towards the other knee. 2 more. Inhale, lift the knee right back up behind you, sweeping around. Exhale, dropping it down, coming back to the midline. 1 more. Inhale, knee lifts and goes around, big circle. Exhale, coming back in towards the midline. Inhale and lift the knee straight out to the side. 5 big breaths here. Keep pressing through the hands, pressing through the knees. Low belly sucks in. Keep lifting that right knee. 2 more big breaths here. You can do it. 1 more. And exhale, lower the knee back down. Place it down. Take a moment, maybe shake out the wrists. Give your wrists a little break. Notice how you feel. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So pressing through the hands, pressing through the knees. And on your next inhale, lifting the left knee now up away from you, keeping it bent. Bringing it out and around, and then exhale, dropping it toward the midline. 2 more. Inhale to lift to the side, big circle, dropping it back. Exhale, down and around. 1 more. Inhale, lift to the side, bring it out and around. Exhale to the midline, pause. Other way. Inhale, knee lifts right back behind you, goes to the left, and then exhale, lower down and around. 2 more. Inhale, lift And then out and around, exhale down. Last one. Inhale, lift. Move out. Exhale down and back to center. On the next inhale, left knee lifts straight out to the side. Press through the hands, press through the right knee. 4 more breaths. Low belly sucks in. 3 more breaths. 2 more. Last one. And on your exhale, drop the knee down. Big toes come to touch, knees spread wide. Inhale, pull the head forward. And then exhale, sink the hips back. Child's pose, just resting here for a couple moments. Come back to your breath. If you've lost focus on the breath, big, big breaths. Let's take 2 more breaths here. 1 more. And on the next inhale, coming back up to hands and knees. On the exhale, curling the toes under, pressing the knees up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, step or walk the feet up between the hands and rise up halfway once you're there. Exhale, fold down to your mat. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing, sweeping the hands out and around, palms touch. And exhale, hands come down by your sides. From here, we're going to move on to some balancing poses. So I'm going to be facing you, but you ideally will be facing the front of your mat. So take a moment, look down at your feet. Notice we want them to be hips distance, so if you drew lines down from your hips, your ankles would be right there. Toes should be pointing directly towards the front of whatever room you're in. If you're outside, just be pointing towards the front of your mat. Hands come down by your sides. Just begin to feel into the feet. So maybe rocking forward and back, side to side, just noticing how you feel. Big breaths. And then we're going to begin to balance on our right leg. So start to shift your way over toward the right hand side until you begin to feel just light in the foot, left foot, that you feel like you can just lift it up. And we're just going to have fun here. So just begin to start swinging your left leg around, just making some kind of organic movements. We stand all day on our legs. We're always sitting. You know, we never really just let our legs kind of swing. So just see how it feels to swing the leg around, maybe making half moon shapes, maybe just letting it go side to side. See if you can relax the foot and just swing from the hip, just letting go of any tension. A couple more breaths like this, just have fun with it here. And then once you're ready, bringing the leg right back down. Inhale, hands come to your hips. On the next inhale, so big exhale, and then on your next inhale, lift that left leg up, bending the knee. Pause here. If this is enough for you, stay here. If you can keep the toes on the ground and just practice lifting them up, if that's where you're at. If you can lift the foot, maybe see if you can extend the toes out in front of you. Your choice. We're going to be here for 5 breaths. Couple points. Keep pressing that right knee back. We want to stay strong and stable. And notice if you begin to lift that left hip, try to keep it pulling down. Shoulders relax down the back. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Maybe you look at your toes. 1 more breath. And then on your exhale, the foot comes back down. Right back up. So inhale, knee lifts up. And now on the exhale, the left knee is going to go toward the left hand side. Breathing here. Again, maybe the toes just tap on the ground and we work on lifting them up. If you're lifted, maybe you challenge yourself and begin to straighten the toes out toward the side. Notice that we want the hips pointing forward wherever you are. The belly stays sucked in. 2 more big breaths here. You're doing great. 1 more breath. And then on your exhale, the knee comes to center and then right back down to the mat. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So begin to shift your weight toward the left-hand side now until your foot begins to feel nice and light and that you can just kind of like lift it up and move it around. Then just begin to swing your right foot. Maybe you swing it side to side. Maybe it goes across the body. Maybe you make half moon shapes. Whatever kind of feels good for you, just move kind of organically in your body. Notice how it feels. Keep a connection to your breath. Big, big breaths. Big swings. Let's take 2 more breaths like this. 1 more. And then on your exhale, next exhale, right foot comes back down to the ground. Inhale, hands come to the hips. Exhale here. Inhale, lift the right knee up and pause. Notice how this feels. Maybe the toes just tap down and we're working with our balance. Maybe we lift the knee fully. If we lift the knee fully, can we straighten the leg out? Toes point out. It's up to you. Play around with your body. Stay focused on your breath. So if you're at a point that you're focusing on your balance and your posture more so than your breath, then take a step back. Focus on the breath first. We're here to focus on our breath, not the posture. So go to where you can focus on breathing fully rather than trying to achieve the posture and balance. One more big breath here. And then on your exhale, foot comes down. Right back up. So inhale, right knee lifts. And then on the exhale, we're going to open up that right knee toward the right hand side. Same thing here. So maybe you just lower the toes and you breathe here. Maybe the foot gently comes up. Maybe you work towards straightening it. It's really up to you. The goal here is to keep the hips facing forward. We don't want to feel like we're opening to the side. Hips stay forward. Low belly stays sucked in. 2 more big breaths here. You're doing great. 1 more breath. And on your exhale, the knee comes back to center, and then you set the foot down. Inhale, hands sweep up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, dive down to your mat with a flat back. Inhale, rise up halfway, pull the heart forward, and exhale, we're just going to hang heavy in a forward fold here for a couple of breaths. So maybe your hands just reach down towards the ground, they dangle in the air. Add a slight bend to your knees, whatever feels good for you. If your hands are on the ground, maybe they just stay on the ground. Maybe you wrap your hands around the opposite elbows and just hang like ragdoll. Wherever you are, try not to lock your knees back. Keep the knees nice and soft. And relax the back of your neck, just allowing the crown of the head to fall towards the ground. Maybe you rock side to side, shake the head yes, no, just relieve any tension here. Come back to your breath, bringing a sense of ease within. What if this forward fold were to be easy? How would it feel for you? Would you bend the knees more? Would you let go of the hands? What would feel super easy for you? One more big breath here. And on your next inhale, if your hands are bound, drop the hands down. Rise up halfway, pull the heart forward. Pause here to exhale. Then on your next inhale, bend the knees, slowly roll up, stacking 1 vertebra at a time, coming all the way up to standing. When you get to the top, exhale the shoulder blades down your back. If you're not at the front of your mat, step forward to the front of your mat. For next flow, we're going to need some space behind us. On your next inhale, step the left foot back behind you, coming into a wide-legged stance. We're going to make our way into Warrior 2. But to start, look down at your feet. The back foot should be in alignment with the short edge of your mat. So if you drew a line from the outer edge of your back foot and the short edge of your mat, it should be parallel. The front foot, the heel, should intersect with the back arch. So if I were to draw a line from my heel, it should go straight back to the arch of my foot. That's good alignment. Inhale, hands come out to a T shape, looking over the front fingertips. And then on the exhale, bend the front knee. Look down for a moment. Your knee should stay directly above the ankle. If your knee's going too forward of the ankle, that means you need to widen your stance a bit. If your knee's all the way back here, your stance might be too wide. So just looking down, breathing here, 2 more breaths. Low belly sucks in, shoulder blades down the back. 1 more breath. On the next inhale, right hand flips up. On the exhale, begin to bring the left hand down the back leg. Right hand reaches towards the ceiling, reverse warrior. Keep that front knee nice and bent. 2 more breaths. Low belly sucks in. Try to keep the back hand light on your back leg. 1 more breath. Inhale, come back up to your Warrior 2. On your exhale, the right forearm's going to come down to the right knee, and the left hand's going to sweep up overhead, possibly reaching towards the front of your room. Keep spinning the bottom rib cage up towards the ceiling. Nice stretch here. from the foot all the way through the fingertips. One more big breath. And then on your exhale, look down towards your foot. Both of your hands are going to come to the inside of your foot. Spin onto the back toes and inch your right foot out towards the side so you can actively stack the wrists directly under your shoulders. We're coming into lizard pose. So maybe you stay right here. Maybe on your exhale, you lower that back leg down, lower the top of the foot down. On your next inhale, wherever you are, pull the heart forward just like we did in our forward fold, shining the chest towards the front of your room. Breathing here. Keep pulling that right knee in towards your shoulder, pressing down through the back leg. If you want to go deeper, you can exhale down to your forearms. Notice that that right knee is going to want to go out to the side. You want to keep that hugging in. Let's take 3 more big breaths here. This should feel like a nice stretch along the hips. In the front of that left leg. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. And on your next inhale, if your hands are extended and you're on your forearms, bring the hands back towards you, propping yourself up. On the exhale, step that front knee back behind you and then lower yourself down to your mat, the chest and then the chin. Inhale, rise up to your low cobra or up dog, and exhale to a downward facing dog. Let's take 3 big breaths here. Just noticing how you feel, right side versus left. 2 more breaths. 1 more. And then on your next inhale, either walking or stepping the feet up between the hands. Rise up halfway once you get to the front. Exhale to fold. And then inhale, rising all the way up to standing, sweeping the hands out and around, palms come to touch. And exhale, hands come down by your sides. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So on your next inhale, right foot now is going to step back behind you. Wide-legged stance. We're going to look at our alignment first. So first, looking at the back of the back foot, notice that that should be in alignment with the short edge of your mat. Looking forward, front heel should intersect the back arch. If you're feeling good, inhale, hands come out to a T shape. Looking over the front fingertips. On your exhale, lowering down that front knee, making sure the knee does not go past the front ankle. Hips should be facing the side. 2 more breaths. So belly sucks in, shoulder blades down the back. 1 more breath. On your next inhale, left hand flips up. On the exhale, begin to shift backwards. Right hand tracks down that back leg. Left hand lifts up towards the ceiling. Keep a bend in that front knee. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Inhale, rise back up, and on the exhale, coming into side angle, forearm comes to the front thigh, and then lifting the right hand up. Maybe it reaches overhead. 2 more breaths here. Keep spinning that bottom rib cage up towards the ceiling. 1 more breath. And then on your exhale, look towards your left foot. Hands come down to the inside of that foot, spinning onto the toes of that back foot, and then heel toe that left foot out so you have room to keep the wrists directly under the shoulders here. Maybe you stay here. If you want to go further, you can exhale to drop that back knee down. Top of the foot comes down as well. If this feels good for you, stay here wherever you are. Inhale, pull the heart forward, elongate the back, low belly sucks in. Keep pulling that left knee in towards you so it's not splaying outwards. Breathing here. If you want to go a little bit deeper, now's your chance to lower the forearms down to your mat. Again, keep that left knee hugged in as much as you can. Keep pulling the heart forward for 3 more breaths. 2 more big breaths. 1 more breath, you're doing great. You're on your forearms on the next inhale, coming right back up to the hands, and then following your next exhale, wherever you are, bringing that front knee back behind you, and then lowering down the chest, and then the chin. Inhale to pull up to your low cobra or up dog. And exhale, pressing up and back, downward facing dog. Again, 3 breaths here. Just come back to your breath if you've lost focus on the breath. Big, big breaths. Pressing through the palms, driving the heels down. 1 more breath here. And then on the next inhale, either stepping or walking the feet up between the hands, rising up halfway. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, rising all the way up to standing, sweeping the hands out and around, palms touch at the top. And exhale, hands come down by the sides. On your next inhale, hands are going to sweep back overhead, palms will touch. Exhale, dive down to your mat with a flat back. Inhale, rise up halfway, pull the heart forward, and exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back behind you. And your choice, either lower knees, chest, chin, or full plank down to a hover. Inhale, low cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. 1 big breath here. And on your next inhale, lift the right foot up off the mat and just point the toes directly behind you. 2 breaths here. Keep pressing that left knee back, pressing through the hands. 1 more breath. And then on your next inhale, begin to bend that right knee and lift the right knee up towards the ceiling, just like we did in the beginning. 2 breaths here. Keep pressing that right armpit down. 1 more breath. And then on your next inhale, drop the knee and begin to shift forward to plank pose. Right knee comes to the right wrist. Left wrist is by the right ankle. We're making our way into single pigeon pose, single leg pigeon pose. So we're going to make our way here consciously. Take a moment, setting this leg down, noting that while we are working towards making the shin parallel to the front edge of the mat, that is the deepest expression of this posture. The more of a bend you have in the knee, the less of a stretch this is going to be in your hip. So notice where it feels okay for your knee and for your hip. Take a moment and look behind you. Your leg should be a direct extension of your hip point. So as the leg is going out or coming in, just looking back and trying to make sure that's nice and long behind you. On your inhale, pull the heart up towards the front of your room, and then exhale. Maybe you begin to walk the hands out. Maybe you just come to your forearms, kind of stay here for a moment. Notice how you feel. Keep trying to press that left leg into the ground. Press the left hip down so the right hip comes up a bit. If you need a block or bolster under that right hip, feel free to do so. And then maybe you lower down a little bit further if accessible for you. So just noticing here where this can feel easy for you. Does that mean putting more of a bend in that right knee? Does that mean coming onto the hands? How can this feel easy for you? Create a sense of ease within. And where you can focus on your breath rather than a crazy hip opener. So big breaths. We're going to be in here for a little bit, so going somewhere where it feels good because it's going to intensify over time. Just finding a sense of ease within. So maybe that means relaxing the arms, relaxing the hands. Maybe that means relaxing the face. We hold a lot of tension in our face, so soften your face. Just create an easy pose for yourself. And come back to your breath. Take 3 more breaths, pigeon pose on this side. 2 more breaths. 1 more biggest breath yet. Breathing in for as long as you can and exhale until there's nothing left to press out. On the next inhale, walk your hands back towards you if they're extended, propping yourself up. On the exhale, curl your back toes under, coming onto the knee, and then bringing that right leg back behind you, setting the knee down. Big toes come to touch behind you, spread the knees wide, and sink your way back on the exhale to child's pose, and just rest here for a couple breaths. Notice how the hips feel, if one feels more open than the other. Big breath. Letting anything else go, just coming back to the sound of your breath. Let's take one more breath in your child's pose. And then on your next inhale, come back up to your tabletop. On the exhale, curl the toes under, press the way up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, look between your hands and step or walk the feet up between the hands, rising up halfway. And exhale to fold down towards your feet. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing, sweeping the hands out and around, palms come to touch. And exhale, hands through heart center, then down by your side. We're going to go through the same flow on the other side now. So inhale, hands sweep up overhead. Palms touch. Exhale, dive down towards your feet. Inhale and rise up halfway. Pull the heart forward. And exhale, plant your hands. Step your feet back behind you. Your choice, either knees, chest, chin, or full plank chaturanga dandasana down to a hover. Inhale, pulling through low cobra or upward facing dog, and exhale to downward facing dog. Big breath here, just getting comfortable in your down dog. And then inhale, left foot lifts up, toes point straight behind you, press through the hands, 2 breaths, low belly sucks in, press that right knee back, 1 more breath. On the next inhale, begin to bend the left knee. Knee lifts up towards the ceiling, feeling a nice opening stretch. Drop that left armpit down. 2 more breaths. Keep pressing that right leg back. Staying strong. 1 more breath. And then on your next inhale, begin to drop the knee and shift the weight forward to plank pose. Left knee to left wrist. Left ankle to right wrist. And begin to set yourself down. Preparing for single-legged pigeon pose on the other side. So maybe you shift that back knee back a bit, just finding which feels good. Your hips might be different on different sides. I know my left hip is generally a little bit more tight than my right hip, so noticing maybe I don't open up my knee as much, or working the shin towards parallel with the front edge of your mat, finding where this feels good for you. Take a look back at your back leg. Should be a direct extension of the hip point. Inhale and pull the heart up. And then on your exhale, begin to walk the hands towards the front of your mat. Maybe you stay propped up on your hands. If that's where you're at, totally fine. Please listen to your body and go to where you can keep a deep breath. If you notice that you're lowering down in pigeon pose and your breath is super short, your face is crunching, then those are all signs to you to just come back a bit. Find a place where this pose feels easy, because we're going to be here for a little bit. Breathing deeply, staying active, pressing that right leg down to the mat, pressing the right hip down. Breathing here, shoulder blades relax, maybe the head lowers down. Send the breath to where you feel this stretch. Again, you should be able to breathe deeply in this pose. If you can't breathe your deepest breaths, just back out a bit, either bending the knee more or coming onto the hands. Create a sense of ease within. Relax the face. Relax the chest. Just breathe. Let's take 3 more big breaths. Try to concentrate on nothing else besides your breath. Can you focus for 2 more big breaths? Only feel, only hear the breath. One more big breath. And then on your next inhale, if your hands are extended out, bringing them back up, propping yourself up. And then on the exhale, curling the back toes under, bringing that front knee back behind you, and then bringing the big toes to touch, sinking yourself back into child's pose, and just breathing here for a couple big breaths. Just using this time to come back to full breaths. And then on your next inhale, begin to shift your weight forward to tabletop position. On the exhale, curl the toes under, press yourself up and back, downward facing dog. And then inhale, step or walk the feet up between the hands, rising up halfway. And exhale, pull down to your mat. Inhale, sweep the hands out and around, palms come to touch at the ceiling. And then exhale, hands come down by your sides. Again, inhale, sweep the hands out and around, palms touch. Exhale, dive down to your mat, flat back. Inhale, rise up halfway. And on this time, we're going to exhale, bend the knees, and begin to bring the bottom to the ground, just coming to a nice seated position. Inhale, hands extend out. And then exhale, just lower yourself down to the mat. We're going to work through a couple gentle back bends. So from here, bringing the knees to a bent position, feet come in towards you. Feet should be hips distance apart. Bring your hands down by your sides, and notice we just want to be able to graze the heels with our hands, our fingers. And then from here, on your next inhale, begin to press into the feet and lift the hips up, coming into bridge pose. Maybe you just stay here. Maybe you bring the hands underneath your low back and press down into the hands, rolling the shoulders under your back. Keep lifting the chin up off the chest, gaze is towards the nose, squeezing the legs in towards each other, pressing through the feet, driving the hips up as the glutes squeeze together. 2 more breaths here. Keep lifting the hips, 1 more breath. And then exhale, lower yourself down to the ground. Maybe windshield wiper the knees side to side, just letting them drop, releasing the low back. We're going to do this 1 more time. So when you're ready, bringing your knees back to neutral, making sure you can just graze the heels with your fingertips, hands by your side, maybe bringing the shoulder blades down the back a bit more to create space around the neck. And then inhale, press into the feet, drive the hips up. Maybe you clasp the hands underneath, maybe you just press the hands down. 5 big breaths here, pressing into the feet, pulling the knees towards each other. Knees should not be touching though. Pulling the hips up. 2 more big breaths here. Squeezing the glutes, pressing through the feet. 1 more big breath. And then exhale, release the hands if they're bound, and slow lower down. Again, just allow the legs to drop side to side, releasing the back. Come back to big breaths. I always love spreading my feet wider than my hips and allowing my knees to just drop towards each other. So if that feels good for your low back, go there. Or just rest on your mat, just allowing the back to neutralize before we begin to move again. When your back feels okay to move, on your next inhale, take your time. If you need to pause the video, feel free to pause the video. But you're going to move to hugging the knees in towards the chest and just maybe adding a gentle rock. Be gentle with yourself. Don't yank your legs down. Just be soft with the back. Breathing here. It's like you're giving yourself a little back massage. Pressing the hips down towards the ground. And just rocking. Maybe the ears drop side to side as well. once your back feels okay in your ball shape Uttanasana, you can either just roll over to one side and press yourself back up, or just gently rock yourself up to seated near the front of your mat. And we're going to meet with straight legs, just coming into a nice forward fold again to relieve any less pressure in the low back. So press the legs down to the ground, pull the toes back towards you. Inhale, hands sweep up overhead, and exhale, begin to dive down. Hands can be on the legs here towards your legs. So notice again, on your next inhale, we're going to pull the heart forward. If your heart can stay lifted, then you can exhale, lower down. Notice that if you can't keep lifted, no problem. You'll gain more flexibility over time, but we want to protect the low back here. So keep the shoulders down away from the ears. If you can lower down, great. If you begin to lower and all of a sudden everything starts getting tight around the shoulders, you've gone too far. So come back to a point, the shoulders stay down, and just stay here. Low belly sucks in, the belly pulls you down. If you're using your hands to yank you down and you pop up, go to where you pop up. That's your indicator. Let's take 3 more big breaths here. One more big breath. And then inhale, rise back up. Exhale, shoulder blades down the back. On your next inhale, spread the legs wide-legged. Keep facing the front of your mat. Again, I'm going to rotate just so you can see me better. Legs spread wide. So spreading to a distance that feels comfortable for you. On your next inhale, hands sweep up overhead, and then look towards your left leg. On the exhale, begin to lower yourself down. Inhale, pull the heart forward. So same concept here. If you feel yourself rounding, come up. But if you can lower down, keeping the heart pulling forward, then you're good to go. Keep pressing the legs down, pulling the toes back towards you, and see if you can try to press that right hip down so it doesn't lift up off the ground. Let's take 2 more big breaths here. 1 more breath. Then inhale, rise back up. And then exhale, go towards your other side. So going back down toward the right side now, looking towards the right toes. Pressing the legs down, pulling the toes back towards you, trying to anchor that left hip down. Breathing here. Maybe pulling the heart forward on an inhale and lowering down on an exhale. Just keep a nice lifted aspect in the chest. 3 more big breaths. 2 more. Last one. Inhale, come right back up, and then on your exhale, we're going to go towards center. So hands come to the ground and just begin to walk yourself out. Keep pressing the legs down. Legs should be super strong, pulling the toes back towards you, shoulders stay relaxed. So notice maybe you just stay here. Wherever you feel a nice stretch on the insides of the hips, that's where you want to stop. Maybe you're here, maybe the forearms come down to your mat if that feels okay for you. Low belly stays sucked in, legs are strong. Maybe you lower yourself down completely if that's in your practice. But finding a spot where you can keep the back nice and long. 3 more breaths here. Keep opening up the hips by trying to rotate the inner points of the thighs towards the wall behind you, essentially. So it's a bit of an external rotation of the hips. Let's take 1 more big breath there. And then inhale, come back up to seated. On your exhale, bring your legs together. Knees bend at the front of the mat. Inhale, sweep the hands up. And then exhale, lower yourself down to your mat. On your next inhale, we're going to cross the right leg over the left, just like you're sitting in a chair with crossed legs, nothing fancy. Hands are going to come out to a T shape, and then just drop your legs over toward the left hand side. Gaze can go over the right hand if that feels good for you. This should just feel like a nice kind of easy twist that just releases any tension in the back and just lets any excess energy go. Big breaths here. If it feels good to close your eyes, draw the eyes closed. We're coming to the end of our practice now. We're Wherever you are, keep pressing that right shoulder blade down into the mat. If it's lifting up, just come out of your twist a bit so the shoulders can stay flush with the ground. Let's take one more big breath here. And then inhale, bring the knees back up to center. Exhale, switch the legs. So left leg crosses over the right, and then drop the legs to the right hand side. Send your gaze over your left hand. Breathing here. Sending your breath to the left side body. Big breaths. Pressing the left shoulder down. Just relaxing into this twist. I love twists. Let's take 3 more breaths here. One more big breath. Inhale, come back to center, lifting the legs, uncross your legs, and then exhale, hug the knees in towards you. One more time, rocking side to side. And from here, we're going to make our way to happy baby pose. So you're going to begin to either grab onto your shins or onto the outside edges of your feet, wherever is more accessible for you, as the knees are going to start to drop towards the armpits. So for me, I'm going to grab onto the outsides of my feet, but if you're just grabbing onto the shins, no problem. Grabbing onto the feet, dropping the knees towards the armpits, and pulling the feet down. Those feet are going to be like they want to press up the ceiling above you. This is happy baby pose. Notice that our low back's going to want to lift up here. See if you can try to actively press it down to the ground. That's where you're going to get this nice hip stretch, and then working the shins towards perpendicular with the ground. Breathing here, shoulders stay relaxed, and maybe add a smile to your face. It's happy baby pose. Find where this feels easy for you. Breathing deeply. Maybe you just hold on to the thighs, maybe hold on to the shins, maybe the feet. Find where this feels super good, like a nice hip stretch. 2 more big breaths here. Maybe rock side to side. 1 more breath. And then from here, bring the insides of the feet together. Knees are going to splay outwards, binding the hands around the feet, or maybe just holding on to the shins again. Pressing the knees out and away from you. Just resting here for a couple breaths. Big, big breaths. And then eventually following an exhale to just allow the legs to fall to the ground in the exact shape that they are, with the feet pressing together, just like we were at the beginning of class. And resting here, maybe the hands come to the insides of the thighs, taking a couple big breaths. So your choice, you can either stay exactly where you are for Shavasana, or I really like to encourage my students, and you're one of my students now, to take any less postures that feel good for them. So maybe you'll even get up and move around to stretch, take a posture. It doesn't have to be a quote-unquote real yoga pose. Just do whatever feels good for you. This is your time. You dedicated this time for yourself. So tap into that intuitive state and give your body what it needs. So maybe it's your favorite pose. Maybe it's just something that you're like, ooh, I need to like move this way or something. But do what feels good. And whenever you're ready, eventually meet in Shavasana. So either you can keep your legs where they are, or just straighten out your legs. Make your way to resting on your mat. You can pause the video if you want to and take your time to flow, and then I'll meet up with you for a nice guided meditation in Shavasana. If you want to go to Shavasana right now, we'll start our meditation now. So just finding a comfortable resting position on your mat. Legs extended, hands by your sides, or maybe they just rest on your belly. Puffing up the chest to inch the shoulder blades down the back. Gently drawing the eyes closed. Just melt the body down. Let go of the conscious hold on your breath. Just observe the body naturally breathing itself. noticing how you feel. Noticing a peace and ease that you've created within and around yourself. The space within. Just allowing yourself to drift off into this beautiful energy you've cultivated. Creating a sense of ease within by relaxing the forehead, softening the eyes, relaxing the jaw. Softening the scalp, the back of the head, and the neck. Relaxing the shoulders and the arms. Softening the wrists and the hands. Every finger just gets a little lighter. Relax your chest, your rib cage, and belly. And soften your back, just melting it down towards the ground. Relax the hips and the legs, softening the ankles and the feet. Every last toe gets a little lighter. Allow this ease to translate to the mind, letting any final thoughts just drift away as you just rest in this beautiful space. Allow your body to reap the benefits of your practice today. Whenever you're ready, begin to bring awareness back into your body by deepening your breath. Eventually add small wiggles to the toes and the fingers, the wrists and the ankles. Then just rolling over onto one side to rest in a fetal position. And pause here, just take a couple moments. When you're ready to begin to move, gently press yourself up to the front of your mat, keeping the eyes softly closed. And we'll meet in a seated position at the front of our mats, with palms touching at heart center and the eyes just gently closed. Just take a couple more moments to notice how you feel. Notice the peace and ease that you've created within yourself. Just reflecting, feeling this easy state within. If your whole life could feel like this, a sense of ease, how would it be different? How would your relationships differ? How would your job differ? How would maybe your relationship with money differ? What if everything was easy? Life is meant to be easy and joyous and fun. So just realizing how you can expand this energy out into your life and reflecting upon that just for a few moments. And gently give yourself a smile, thanking yourself for showing up here today and dedicating this time to creating such a beautiful, easy state. And thank you for sharing your beautiful energy with me here today. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.